Good morning, everyone, and welcome back. We're on day 2 here on just a chill week after the Entei research event has ended. And we're going to start off with a recovery instance and apparently a dark screen, which we haven't seen in a long time, but still our sneaky snacking is 4,355. And we're going to grab 100 sleep points, which puts the grand total at 8,514. And for the daily lottery, we're going to pick up, what do we have? Let's see. Small dream cluster, very nice. All right, and we are going to get into, we're going to talk about getting ready for Suicune a little bit later on in the video. We do have some time until Suicune pops around, but we'll get into that a little bit more later. So kind of give you guys an idea of what to be looking for if you need some particular things, where you may want to go. But first, let's jump into this sleep report and see if we get anything interesting, because part of the reason I'm here is to prepare for Suicune myself. I did not get the slumbering type sleep, which is awful because I have to have slumbering to get the one thing I need. So that's fun. 20% dozing, 53% snoozing, and 27% slumbering. That's almost certainly going to be the dozing sleep type. It is. I don't think that's going to help at all, to be completely honest with you. I think that just means this entire day is a wash for trying to get ready for Suicune. I also didn't make it to the Ultra 4 quite yet. I think it was Great 5 when I went to bed last night, but 10 million, almost 10.5 million drowsy power is still not bad. But again, without the without this, ooh, there is something. I take it back. This is not a wash on this sleep research. We got something very, very pretty down there. All right, so we've got Bellsprout, 2 Caterpie, a Mankey, a Gulpin, and a shiny Ekans. Very nice. Hopefully it's better than the last one. It can't be much worse because the last one was like 13 PR. So there's that. So let's see. Anybody else hungry? Caterpie's hungry. I don't know that hungry Caterpie is really all that helpful. All right, well, first things first, let's go ahead and just give Ekans a regular Poke Biscuit. Guaranteed catch. There we go. Shiny Ekans in the bag. All right, and let's see. Honestly, I'm thinking Bellsprout, to be completely honest with you. Because if we get better Bellsprout, then we can have an easier time at Lapis. I do have a really good Victory Bell, but not as good as I would like. It's just pretty good, but we could have a better one. Unfortunately, no big hit or critical capture, so we won't be taking that home today, but maybe it's something we can work on over the course of the week. Again, this week going to be very chill, not really trying to spend a ton of biscuits. Just here to see what I can find and try to get that Totodile if I can get slumbering sleep type. For now, let's send out some Bellsprout candy. That will help a lot of people when they are ready to go to Lapis. And we can move on. Not going to be a whole lot of Dream Shards. 500 Research XP converted to Dream Shards and 985 Dream Shards. So only about 1,500 total Dream Shards. Not a lot compared to what we have been getting lately with the Entei research event, but not bad. There we go. Could not find Ekans for a moment. Level 13 and quiet. I don't think that's what we want. Sausage, and herbs is not bad. It's pretty decent. Let's see. Charge energy is always good. Skill trigger M is actually pretty good. With that particular main skill, ingredient finder, not so much. Research XP bonus. Skill trigger S, kind of doubling up. Berry finding all the way at level 100. So at least we got berry finding somewhere, I suppose. Ingredient finding up and XP gains down. Yeah, that's not good. It's not what we want. Not what we want at all. But it's not the worst. I think this will turn out to be slightly better than our other Ekans. Maybe not as, I mean, it is better than the other one, but not fantastic. PR 39, that's better than 13. Unfortunately, with the ingredient finder at level 25 and the ingredient finding nature, it's just pretty bad. I'm still gonna save it though. It is a shiny. What level was this? 13? Wow. Unlucky 13 with these Ekans. It's shiny, so let's go ahead and mark that. And we can save it. We can move on. Maybe by the time Ekans is, you know, pretty useful, maybe we'll have a good one. I don't know. Let's go ahead and move on. Another 221 sneaky snacking. No new news. And for the community reports, about 47 of them would be nice. 45, not bad. With 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 that doubled up. Very good. Very good. No level ups today. All right. And then let's try to get into breakfast. Funny enough, Victory Bell has actually been holding me back. Hey, skill trigger there. Some extra potatoes would be nice. Victory Bell underperformed yesterday on the potato front. All right, no potatoes in that skill trigger. Let's see if we can get one here. Good amount of potatoes. That's good. That may cover breakfast and lunch. I think I only had like 2 or 3 left over. That is just about enough for breakfast and lunch. Maybe a couple shy for lunch. Tons of oil. That's what we like to see. We'll collect that candy, but I don't want to collect a skill trigger just yet. We don't need it. So let's go ahead and make some breakfast. We'll get the green grass salad going. Can't cook. I thought I had, oh, maybe I didn't have a pot increase. All right, well, never mind. We are going to collect from Flareon. I thought I had one stored up already. Well, you know, come off the Entei research event and you start slacking on keeping track of your Flareon skill triggers. Go me. Cool. All right, here we go. Now we can make green grass salad. What do I want to throw in here? I want to get a decent amount of strength. You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and do cocoa. Cocoa gives quite a bit of extra bonus, so if this does go extra tasty, it'll be a little nice to have that in there. Should still be about 35. Was it 35,000? Yeah, 36,328. A pretty good amount of strength from the dish. Not quite as much as we were getting from the keema curry, but it's also less ingredients and trying to, oh, I messed up. Just trying to level up my dishes on the website and I clicked the wrong button. All right, there we go. That does put us at Ultra 2, so we'll definitely be in Ultra 4 range by tomorrow. We'll probably swap the team out tomorrow. I really want to get close to Master 1. I feel like if I can get Master 1, I'll be comfortable swapping the team out and just focusing on trying to maintain that strength that we have to maximize the odds of getting a Totodile if I can ever get the Slumbering Sleep. I did complete a mission, got to Grade 2, 1,430 Dream Shards. Unfortunately, the incense this week is an Eevee, not a Totodile, which would have been nice. At least we could have guaranteed ourselves one Totodile, but for now, it's just up to chance and how my sleep actually goes on whether or not I can get a Slumbering Sleep type. But that said, that does mean that we can move on to the main topic that I wanted to talk about today. We do know that we're going to have Suicune coming up at some point. We don't know exactly when it's going to be, but I have found this handy little infographic provided by Banana Tanks. The event dates and the events that you're going to see listed on here, I have not heard anything official to announce these events, so I'm going to treat them as speculation based on past event data and how those have gone. I think that's what Banana Tanks has done. is to just look at the past events, see when they kind of fell in place, and then try to get an idea of what it may look like going forward. This is probably pretty accurate if they keep up how they have done events, but keep in mind, it is speculation. This is not set in stone. The dates may be completely different. The events may be completely different. Because we do also have the 1-year anniversary coming up in the middle of July that would line up with the Suicune event. So they may push Suicune back for the 1-year anniversary if they don't want to have those two together. So do keep that in mind as we look at this. But the water types that are going to be the most helpful to all of us are going to be Feraligatr, Golduck, Vaporeon, Slowbro, Slowking, and Blastoise. There's a reason I'm here on the beach looking for a Totodile. It's because Totodile is really the only water berry specialist. So kind of need one of those, at least to have the one on the team to be my Typhlosion for the Suicune event. Because Typhlosion did put in a lot of work for me during the Entei event. That said, let's go ahead and sort by water types. This is what I have currently. From what I remember, a lot of people like Golduck, and I do have a pretty good Psyduck, but I also remember a lot of people telling me that Golduck was really beneficial if you had its main skill at maximum level. So do keep in mind that if you're going to go for a Golduck on your Suicune team to get you a lot of extra strength, we'll probably have the event bonus like we did with Entei, where water type skills will be buffed in some way, potentially happening more often, and also potentially getting free levels on their main skills. So you may not need to have it completely maxed out. For charge strength, the current maximum is, let me double check, make sure I'm not telling fibs. Let's see, charge strength S, boom. Current maximum is 7. So if you wanted to use a Golduck, potentially you're using 5 main skill seeds to get it to level, or no, sorry, you'd only need to use 4 if you evolve it, because then it'll be level 2 without any other sub skills to level it up. It would be at 2, you'd need to use the main skill seeds. So 4 main skill seeds would put it at level 6. If we do get that +1 level bonus like we did with the fire types during the Entei event, that would put it at level 7 for the first week, but for the second week it still would only be level 7, even though we could potentially get +3 to the main skill of water types. So something to keep in mind. I do, like I said, I remember a lot of people told me that in their experience, Golduck was very good if you had a high level main skill on Golduck. So keep that in mind if you want to go for a Golduck, or if you have one that you want to put on the team, you will need a high main skill level for it. Feraligatr, a little bit of a different story. Really, if you can get berry finding, helping speed, adamant nature, those are the things you're going to be looking for to really give you a good Feraligatr. So you're going to be looking for a Totodile that has those things. As you can see, mine does not. Current level cap is 55. So best that mine is going to do is not a lot. It's going to have a very high ingredient finding rate, which I do not want. So that's fun. That's why we're looking for another Totodile. But for your Totodile, again, look for berry finding, look for adamant nature. I think brave is even a pretty good nature as well. So brave, adamant, berry finding, helping speed. Those are kind of the main things that you want to look for. Yeah, that's what I would look for. Adamant, brave, berry finding, helping speed. And I'm just kind of repeating myself at this point. So let's move on before I do it again. Anyway, there's also Vaporeon you could have, which is a skill specialist with the main skill ingredient magnet, which is actually a pretty decent main skill. I do have an Eevee that I could evolve into a Vaporeon if I wanted, but given that Eevee already brings in milk and cocoa, and ingredient magnet is the main skill, and I have one very good Blastoise and then another Blastoise that is just kind of all around good. Berry Finding, which we won't have available when the Suicune rolls around. Helping Speed, Skill Trigger, Inventory Up, Ingredient Magnet. This one's all right, but I do have this one very, very good Blastoise that brings in the same ingredients as Vaporeon and has Ingredient Magnet. To me personally, I would go for the Squirtle and Blastoise over the Vaporeon, but if Vaporeon is what you have to work with, Vaporeon will work. It does have a very high trigger rate, so that's good in that sense, but keep in mind, Ingredient Magnet is random. There's no guarantee as to what ingredients you're going to get and that they're actually going to be helpful. So if you have a good Blastoise, use that over for the Vaporeon, but Vaporeon is a good runner-up if you don't have a good Blastoise. And then Slowpoke and Slowbro, I mean, yeah, they're cool. They could be helpful, but their ingredient spread is kind of lacking and their speed is very, very slow. At this point, if I were to look at the Suicune event like I did with the Entei event and try to plan what dish I want to make, dessert seems to be the better option for me, and tails aren't going to help me in that aspect. I mean, Energizing Cheer could be helpful on the team just to keep some random teammates' energy up a little bit more, but ultimately, I don't think this is the best choice. We just don't really have a whole lot of water types on or in the game currently. And then this Slowpoke, which is going to end up being my Slowking eventually, is very good for what it is. But again, I just don't feel like it is the most beneficial to have on the team for the Suicune event. If you have a good one and you can fit it in on your team and it's going to work with your plan, if you're not to the point of making the top tier meals like a lot of us are, and you're still making the Slowpoke tail meals, then a Slowking or a Slowbro could do you a lot of good. For me personally, though, they're not going to help me that much in my plan. But if they are going to help you, that's good. That's fantastic. Make sure you have a good one. You're going to be looking for Ingredient Finder. They are a skill specialist, but you do want those ingredients. So Ingredient Finder is what you're going to want. Inventory Up, Skill Trigger to help keep energy up on the rest of the team, and Helping Speed is going to benefit them significantly because they are slower. So having Helping Speed is going to be very good. So you're going to be looking for the natures on these. You're going to be looking for Quiet would be okay. Quiet and Mild are kind of what you're looking for. I think Quiet would be the most beneficial in terms of ingredient finding. But if you want to go for a Speed of Help nature, then Brave would probably be the one you're looking for, maybe a Lonely. So the two best ones would probably be Brave, Quiet, and then decent runner-ups would be Lonely and Mild natures on a Slowbro or a Slowpoke that you catch that you want to evolve into a Slowking or a Slowbro. I'd recommend a Slowking. Its base frequency is a bit faster and it's easier to get a Slowking because you just need let's see what it is. It is a King's Rock, a Link Cable, and a Slowpoke 80 Slowpoke candies. So it's a little easier. You don't have a level requirement, so you don't have to get it to a certain level before you evolve it. But like I said, if you're going to be making the Slowpoke tail dishes, Slowking, Slowbro, very good choices for that. If you're going to be making other dishes that don't require the tails, then maybe you don't want to look for a Slowpoke, but if you find one, maybe you use it. That said, depending on what you're looking for and what you need, there are several places that you can go. For me, I would love to go to Lapis Lakeside because having a double corn stuffle would help significantly as well for desserts. Because for me, I'm looking to make, or no, it wouldn't help with desserts. I'm trying to make flower gift macarons, but I need a better Bulbasaur for that. And I can find Bulbasaur at Lapis, but I can't find Totodile at Lapis. So currently trying to get the Totodile out of the way because I feel like that's going to be the harder one to find. Whereas I can find a decent Bulbasaur, I think, pretty easily. So currently I'm at Cyan Beach for that reason, for the Totodile. But Lapis, if you have a team that's ready for it and you have Lapis unlocked, you can find all of them except for the Totodile on Lapis Lakeside, plus the new Pokemon, the Stuffle, the Ralts that could help immensely for the event, and Dratini. But that all depends on what dishes you're going to try to make for the Suicune event. But all three of them can be very, very helpful while you're also looking for some of these water types that you want to use on your Suicune team. That said, all 5 of them do show up at Cyan Beach. So if you're only looking for water types, the 5 that are listed here, Cyan Beach has all of them available at different ranks. So use that to kind of help you figure out where you want to go. Keep in mind they are also available at Greengrass, but the spawn pool at Cyan Beach is much more limited, so you have a higher chance of finding these water types if you get the Slumbering Sleep type, for Totodile anyway, Totodile and Squirtle. The others will show up on different sleep types. So keep in mind, Cyan Beach is the best place to go if you want to look for all 5 of them. If you already have a good Totodile or for Ralligator and you're just looking for the others, Lapis Lakeside might be better because you can also look for your Stuffle and Dratini and Ralts while you're there. But that's kind of what we're looking at going forward. So things are going to be quite interesting, but I think the sooner that you start to get your team together for Suicune, the easier it is to just kind of relax and take it easy while you're looking for the Pokemon you want, and you're not waiting until the last minute to be like, oh, I have to find a Totodile now, you know? So if you get it done early, get it out of the way, you can relax a little bit more and just take it easy and kind of play the game the way that I feel it was meant to be played, just a little more relaxed and chilled out. I don't think this is meant to be a super competitive, high stress, have to get everything to min-max as possible. I don't think it's that kind of game. I don't even think you need a 90+% Blastoise or Totodile. I mean, 70 PR tends to work pretty well. My Victory Bell is 70 something PR, and it works pretty well in almost every scenario. I haven't compared the number differences between like a 70 PR and a 100 PR Pokemon, but I feel like the differences are probably not too great, maybe a 10% at best in most cases. But that is just me kind of going off a feeling. So don't stress too much about getting a perfect or a very high PR Pokemon. If you get one that has the right sub skills and maybe the nature is a little off, maybe it'll still work. Just check it out in production comparison, team analysis, and see if it'll still work for you. You don't have to have perfect top tier Pokemon to go far in this game. So that said, that is kind of everything that I feel like we need to know leading up to Suicune at this time. As we get more information, the things that we need to know and the things we need to prepare for will change. Also, do keep in mind, we will almost certainly get a new water type. In fact, I'm even confident saying that we will definitely get a new water type Pokemon during the water type week, and it will probably be a berry specialist, given how the fire type week went. We got Vulpix that was a berry specialist because at that point I think we only had type Cyndaquil as a berry specialist, was the only fire type berry specialist in the game. We got Vulpix to be another berry specialist, so we're probably going to get another water type berry specialist to go together with Totodile. So keep in mind, even if you don't get a really good Totodile during the water type week, whenever it does happen, we will have that new water, almost certainly going to be a berry specialist, that new water type that we can supplement. And maybe instead of having Totodile, maybe we find a really good Marill, if that's what it ends up being. Maybe we can find a really good Marill that will take Totodile's place, or if you have a good one of both, maybe you use them both on the team. Who knows? But keep in mind, this isn't hey, you need to do this right now. Just, you know, things to keep in mind as you try to figure out how you want to plan your next few weeks. I'm kind of hoping that we get a little bit of time to relax, and, you know, if this speculation is correct, we're gonna have about 2 weeks to just kind of do whatever we want. Curry event, I feel like, is probably going to take place on any island. We'll almost certainly be able to go wherever we want for that, so we can really consider that kind of a chill week. That's just meant to have a little bit of fun and not really stress about anything. And then water type week, maybe a little bit of stress trying to find that new water type, but mostly chill. And then Suicune is where we'll really be trying to find a good Suicune. maybe. I don't know. The way Entei and Raikou are and the fact that I'm not planning to use them a lot kind of makes me think maybe I don't really care to catch too many Suicune and get a good one. Maybe I'll find a decent one and be happy with it, kind of the same as with Entei. But who knows? That's yeah, that's up to future me to figure out whenever that time comes. But for now, that is what we have. That's what we need to know, and what I think that you should take into consideration whenever you're planning your next few weeks. But that said, let's see if I can, I almost certainly can't make lunch, but we'll try. I've kept you guys here for a while, so maybe the least I can do is, oh wait, no, it isn't even lunchtime. I forgot, I'm recording this earlier than usual. Lunchtime hasn't even happened yet, so I take it back. I am a terrible, terrible person. Anyway, that said, that is all I have got for today. Let me know in the comments if any of that information was helpful to you, or any other tips or tricks that you have for other players that I may have missed. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, at which point I do have that special video that I'm recording that I will release after we get there. And that's going to be it for me today. Thank you for watching the video. Y'all have a good night, and until next time, later, dudes.